Hi there, I just wanted to let you know that for the past 2 months I have been putting together a document which details some ideas I've had for some Mario games that Nintendo could potentially make. This was all inspired by the next making a sequel video that I'm going to do, which is actually what's going to be coming out this week. So last month we had making a Five Nights at Freddy's sequel, so this is going to be making a Mario sequel. It did just start with one idea, but me being me, it's now expanded to become 30 plus games, 27 in detail, and then a handful of other ones that are kind of briefly pitched more as in like side comments in a few other different places. Yeah, so this document that's titled 13 Years in the Kirby is now over 100 pages long. But because of all the effort that I've put into it, as well as just talking about it more in, say, Thursday's video, I wanted to give people a chance to read it as well. Because if you've got some Mario fans out there, or Nintendo, or game fans in general, or even if you're not, just want to have a read, I want to know what people think about it, think about these ideas. Is this something that you would be interested in playing, or what do you think about what I'm doing with the characters, and so forth. Therefore, I have made this available as a PDF, which, depending on if I've managed to succeed in doing this or not, because I'm recording this first, it'll either be able to be downloaded directly from a link in the description below, or regardless, there'll also be a link to the page on my website where you'll definitely be able to download this. This is a document that is over half the length of my first book, so if you are going to do it, make sure you have the time to do so. Please, if you can, do give it a shot. But also, it's that much content from me for free if you haven't wanted to spend money on my book thus far, which is also has a link in the description below. Obviously, this isn't a story in itself, it's not prose, it's just descriptions of stories. But again, it's showing how my brain works when it comes to putting different ideas together in terms of franchises. Again, as per the whole point of the video on Thursday, taking things that already exist and seeing what other potential they have within them. Speaking of things that already exist, if again you are a Mario fan already, if this entices you any further, I have also, as part of it, basically canonised every single Mario game that has ever existed. All of them. It was a lot of research, and for the most part, that more comes down into, in my own headcanon, of a timeline of where things fall, just how that impacts. So have we met this character yet, or so forth, or has this thing happened? How is that going to impact those other characters' behavioural events that happen? Most of which is not probably going to be noticeable, or wouldn't be noticeable if they were ever made in the first place. In the gameplay, it's more just a detail that's done for consideration, or in some cases there may be like a throwaway comment or a small detail here that's described and said, this would allude to this other game, which places it at this point in the canonicity. But again, most people wouldn't pick up on that at all. It's more for the people who are wanting to theorise about this sort of thing. Speaking of theories, a lot of this also in turn was built upon the building blocks that were set by MatPat's game theories on the Mario franchise. I haven't used all of them, but I've picked the ones that I particularly like. At the top of the document, I have basically briefly described all of the theories that I am working with, that he came up with first. Again, things to do with the timeline of the main Mario games at least, although he didn't acknowledge the majority of all the side satellite stuff, which is what I've gone further to do. We've also got like what are the true natures of certain characters and things like that as well. I will also again link in the description of this video his video on the timeline, as that is my favourite, and also the main one, and from there you can also try to search up other ones if you so wish. But you can check that out if you want to have that kind of pre-context when going into it. But yeah, more details beyond that will be gone into in Thursday's video. I just wanted to put up this kind of little update video now, because this is now when I'm releasing it online for people to read, and also if you want to have a read of it before Thursday's video as well, to again give you kind of context to what I'm talking about there, or just give you that extra time to have a read of it, because again, I will acknowledge, yes, it is a bit of a commitment if you do grace me with having a read and then letting me know either in the comments of these videos or get in touch with me in any other way as to what you think about it. Or, if any of you happen to know any contacts that work at Nintendo itself, if you want to instead pass those comments on to them as well to see if they have any use for any of the ideas, that would be great. But for the most part, this has been something where I wasn't expecting anything to come from it. It was just again, an instance of a spur of creativity getting out of hand, and I have to see things through to the end. So it has consumed the last just shy of 2 months of my life, as I say. So I can move on from it, so I'm grateful in that way as well. But it has been fun, again, getting into like all the little nooks and crannies of this franchise to try to put together as cohesive a chronology and timeline and grander spanning narrative as possible, while still keeping the individual games still individual, as it were. Rather like how the Ragnarok Chronicles works. Again, just to bring it back to this channel, to the books, to wrap up this video, have a read of the PDF, and otherwise, I'll see you next time.